What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cookie DAO today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Here we are at about 9.3 cents. I am at the airport, just so you know. If you hear any background noises, it's either my daughter or more likely it's other people in the airport or the intercoms, stuff like that. So just bear with me. We're at about 9.3 cents now, 6 days, 5 hours left in this week. We did not get the weekly close we were looking for yesterday. Last week, unfortunately, we were looking to close up above like 10.75 cents, but we did not get that. That's okay, though. It's not crucial. It's not like because that didn't happen, now we're going to zero, right? It's just if that did happen, we would have probably seen some more immediate growth this week. But we can still grow this week and maybe even grow more than what I would expect we grow. But I do believe that we're going to continue moving higher. I very much do believe this is the low if we're looking at this on a weekly time frame, but we'll get into the kind of game plan, the overall game plan for Cookie DAO here. But looking at the overall time frame from a low to a high, at the golden ratio, finding support here, just closing below it, just closing back above it with high volume right here, low volume on the way down this last leg here. There was very minimal amounts of volume on the leg down, a lot of volume at the lows itself. I feel like that says everything that you need to know right there. Bouncing off the golden ratio, classic area to find support, all that kind of stuff. The RSI also bounced right off the 40. On a bright side, even though we did not get the bullish engulfing candle, we still did get a green candle that allows us to bounce off the 40 on a weekly basis. So that's pretty damn awesome right there, actually. On the daily time frame, we have broken out of our downtrend in the RSI. And I don't know how to draw this, but I feel like the line of best fit might be something like this, right? You get a lot of touch points here. This one blemish excluded. You know, if you want to take a different note, we could do it like this, something up here. But I feel like it's not as respected. I feel like this makes a lot more sense in my opinion. So breaking out above that, immediate rip from the oversold zone all the way up to the 50. Finding resistance here is very normal. So we could go a little bit lower even from here. We could have a red day today or tomorrow, something that takes us to the 40 on the daily time frame and bounce, just as we got the weekly 40 bounce here as well, and continue on our merry way. All I'm saying there is that if we don't move up today, if we don't move up tomorrow, this thing is not broken. It's fine. All right, hold on. Let me pause while the intercom's speaking. All right, it's going on still some. Okay, actually, they just ended it. Okay, good. Anyways, taking into consideration the golden ratio that we bounced from there, if we take this relative low to relative high here, we also found support in the 1886200 level. We're finding resistance now at this golden ratio. That could be why we didn't continue persisting at higher prices there. I think that we will likely come down a little bit. Find support at about 8.27 cents, maybe even right here at this high. We don't have to go all the way down there, but it's very common with fibs, both on the way down and on the way up, to show kind of respect and be constructive along the areas of these lines, if not those lines specifically. So right now, the look that we have, rejecting off the 50, starting the week early, tipping the golden ratio, closing right at it as well, and not getting any follow through over the past couple of days tells me that we likely will go down, recoup ourselves at areas where we found support before, areas where we found resistance before, and the relative 1886 fib extension. Once we bounce off of that level, we can start persisting or pursuing higher prices, something as high, or at a minimum I would say, of about 12.57 cents to potentially a maximum of about 20 cents over the coming weeks here. Yeah, something like that. Whenever it comes to the coming weeks, coming days, I don't know if I just said coming weeks, but I meant to say coming days. This is going to happen over the coming days, over this coming week. That's my expectation. Over the coming weeks, over the coming months, we will be seeing prices that are dramatically higher, working our way up to new all-time highs, probably anything from around like $1.60 to even prices that are above $2. And we'll get into that in just a second. But I want to keep actually doing this shorter term stuff real quick. Let's see. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, the presumed outcome is down just based on the price action. I might take a short-term trade on Cookie then. I don't know if it's a good time or not. That is a bearish engulfing candle. We have 15 minutes left in this one. I don't know. I did buy some. I went pretty heavy into Cookie. I mean, I bought a lot back at 20 cents as well, but I went pretty heavy here at like 8.3 something cents. I might sell the bag that I bought here, sell it here, and then look to reallocate back in. If Cookie does something without me, if it takes off without me, then I'll just say, okay, well, whatever. I'm still holding some of my original portion from 20 cents. I'll let that fly back up and then I could put that money elsewhere. There's no need to feel pressure with stuff like this, right? But if you don't like the sound of that, if that's not your style, then don't trade. There's no reason to trade, right? You can hold. I'm definitely going to keep holding a lot of my cookie DAO. I'm not going to sell all of it, but I might do a short-term trade after this video. Actually, I think I'm going to take some profits here and then just reallocate back at the same area that I bought before, because it's not that dramatic, but I am under the impression that we're going to see that lower price being achieved. Yeah, it's about a 10% drop from here. I can't look at that and not make a move on that, so I'm going to make a move on that personally. 4-hour RSI looks like it wants to go down. The reason being, you had every opportunity to go up. You found support at the 50. You're overbought. You're looking good, but you just didn't do it, man. Daily daily price right at a critical area where you'd want to break out and go higher if you want to pursue higher prices, but you didn't do it. You closed right at this level. You had low levels of volume, nothing too dramatic there to push you higher. So down you go, and it looks like you are going to go down. Yeah, it looks pretty convincing to me that you are going to continue going down. So anyways, enough of that. Let's look at the weekly time frame and just talk about the overall game plan with this thing as far as where we're going over the coming weeks and months, and then where we're going by the end of this cycle as well. Okay, so right now we're at about 9.25 cents, 9.26 cents. Back in November, you're at a price of about 2 cents, and then in January ran all the way up to 84 cents, right? Crazy stuff. That's a 42x. That happened in a matter of 7 weeks, guys. It was 8 weeks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. That's crazy stuff, right? And here we are, retraced a good bit of that move, and we're looking to continue and see our next leg up. I do assume that the next leg will be similar to the last leg. Now, maybe not as big overall, maybe bigger, you never know, but I would assume that it will be a little bit smaller from a percentage standpoint, right? From a low to a high, if it were the exact same, that put us at about $3. We're at 9.2 cents now, $3 price by the end of this next move, if it were to repeat the same movement as the last move provided. But I'm expecting something a little bit smaller. So if we take this high here, we put it at the low, we are assuming this is the low. The target areas that I would pick apart here would be anything from about the 1272 at about $1.65 there. That's the minimum standard, to about $2.40, $2.50. That's pretty damn close to where this same kind of movement percentage would be if we were to take that into consideration. Now, this could be a bull flag. I don't think that it is. I wouldn't call it a bull flag, but it could behave like one. You could see a nice kind of like ABC reciprocated copied move. You could see something that's larger. It's hard to say. But what I'm very confident in is that this thing has a lot of potential. It has a ton of potential, you guys. Hold on, let's see. Refresh this page here. Come on now. The volume is at 36% of the current market cap. All we're doing is just chilling, right? We're not doing anything too convincing. We were seeing readings of volume at about 12% and higher down at these areas too, where we were being relatively boring. We're seeing good volume regularly, consistently at these low areas. There's accumulation going on. I think it's very obvious, and I think that as time goes on, it'll only be more obvious that there's accumulation going on here. But with that in mind, we have a very low market cap at about $41 million. It's a pretty low market cap. So we could see something like this fly to hundreds of millions of dollars in market cap valuation, billions of dollars, tens of billions of dollars by the end of this cycle, right? We've seen it happen with plenty of coins. This is a good AI kind of index coin, Web3 index coin. It's an AI coin, right? AI token. And AI, the stage is really set for AI to take off, to explode here in 2025. At least I think it will. And if it does, if we capture a small sliver of that AI pie, this thing could be worth literally tens of billions of dollars in market cap by the end of the cycle. The end of this next move, which I'm anticipating will be by the end of May, by the end of June, will be somewhere around $1.65 to $3, right? So, somewhere in that range. Probably closer to $1.65 to $2.30. Somewhere in that range. We could go higher. It could blow things out of the water. We go all the way up to around $4. It's possible, but I'm not expecting that personally. And I think $1.65 is more than plenty for a pump here, right? It's not as big as a 42x. The last move that we saw was a 42x, but a 24x overall is not bad at all. It's nothing to be ashamed of. After this move, I don't know how it's exactly going to look, right? We could consolidate a little bit, continue to move up, consolidate some more, and then continue to move up. I don't know exactly how it's going to look, but ultimately, I would assume that we will persist to prices that are not just at $10 but above $10. $10 for me is the minimum target area. We might not hit $10. We could fall just shy of it, but something around $10 nonetheless. However, I don't think we stop at 10. I do think we go higher. I think we see prices that are at $20, $46, something in that area, if not higher. The highest that I'd expect or could see Cookie DAO going would be probably 90. Let's see, actually. Let's see what the math would be on that. Because of what? A 1000x puts you at 100x puts you at 4 billion. 1000x puts you at 40 billion, 41 billion, 41.5 billion. Okay, so yeah, you could, man, go all the way up to $90. I don't think you do. But excuse me, sorry. Just talking about how crazy we've seen things get, especially if they captivate the market's attention, if they have enough hype and popularity behind them. You know, we've seen meme coins. Shiba Inu last cycle I thought it saw an $80 billion market cap, but someone told me it was a $55 billion, and it was $55 billion in market cap. But even still, 55, 1000x from here, but you had about a 40-something x, and I know 1000x is crazy, guys. It doesn't happen often, but if it ever does happen, and it does happen, every single cycle we see it happen with various cryptos. It does happen to a very small amount. The ones that it happens for are these very low market cap coins that have high potential and high hope and pandemonium surrounding them, right? So this thing, I'm not saying that that's this coin. I'm just saying it could be. We never know. So as far as maximum potential goes, it's up there. It's really up there, right? But whenever it comes to what I would expect to happen, I'd come a little bit more, you know, toward about $10 at a minimum, right? Which from here is still a 100x is crazy. $20 is a multi-100x, and then $46, that's my kind of personal expected maximum. I wouldn't say I expect it to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did. So that's a 500x right there, and that's insane. So anything from $10 to $46, that's my personal guess. Accepting the notion that we could reach $90 to $100, I just don't think it's going to happen, but that's all further down the line. As far as when is that going to be by, I mean, the end of the cycle is projected to be somewhere in October, November of this year. It could be later, could be December, but I think somewhere in Q4 is when we're going to see that. And then, of course, this next move, by the end of Q2, we're anticipating something that's about $1.65 to $3.89, probably $1.65 to $2.50 is a more appropriate target. I've got nothing else for you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. I'm very much expecting that we do see a little bit of a pullback from here. I should have ended this video, or I should have made my trade before I started this video, because we're just moving down a little bit as we're talking, but a little bit lower, probably lower than this low. As long as we're holding above, let's see, as long as we're above about 7.4 cents, I'm not worried about it at all. And once we do get above 10 cents, once we start closing days above 10 cents, which we're at 9 cents now, so closing above 10 cents is going to be a big deal. That's going to open the doors to higher prices, likely prices that are back at least like 14, 13 cents, if not beyond. So that's all I got for you guys. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.